Welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast. I'm Tamiko Pugh, also known as the Empowering Diva. Each week, you'll hear inspirational interviews as well as actionable tips and strategies that you can implement into your daily life to help you live a life of passion, purpose, and potential. Thanks for spending time with me today. Now let's jump into today's episode of Living the Empowered Life. Welcome to today's episode of Living the Empowered Life. I'm your host, the Empowering Diva, Tamiko Pugh. In today's episode, I'll be sharing my 10 commandments of self-love. Those of you who didn't know this, January is National Self-Love Month. And so how amazing is that? There is an entire month dedicated to loving yourself. The other thing that's so amazing is that we are in the beginning of a new year and a new decade. And so how amazing is it that you can kick off the year by dedicating an entire month to loving yourself? I absolutely love it. And so during our time together today, you'll learn how you can implement my 10 commandments of self-love into your daily routine of living an empowered life. So when most of us think about love, most of the time we think about the love that we give other people or the love that we feel for other people. But what about the love that we give ourselves? You see, self-love is the foundation where the love we have for other people begins and ends. And so here's what I want you to know. The most important decision of your life, the one that's going to affect every other decision that you make, is the commitment to love and accept yourself. It is the commitment to love and accept yourself. This, and I know this for sure, when you commit to loving yourself or the way that you treat yourself, it directly affects the quality of your relationships. It affects the quality of your work, your free time, your faith, and your future. You see, you must love yourself before you can love anyone else. I know that you've heard this before, but I'm going to repeat it because this is very important. You must love yourself before you can love anyone else. By accepting yourself and fully being what and who you are called to be, your simple presence can make other people around you happy. Your simple presence can bring joy into any room that you walk in when you make that decision to love yourself. And so I want to encourage you to give yourself the gift of self-love. How do you do that? Easy, by making a commitment to do something loving for yourself every single day. Doesn't matter how big or small it is. I just want you to make a commitment to do something loving for yourself. Because when you treat yourself good, it makes you feel good. And the more you feel good, the more you're going to treat yourself good. And so each loving act that you perform on yourself or each loving act that you give yourself, no matter how big, no matter how small it is a brick in the foundation of self-love. Now let's go ahead and dive into my 10 commandments of self-love. Self-love commandment number 1. I shall lovingly accept myself as I am right now. Ladies, love yourself for who you really are. Why? Because God created you to be unique. He created you to be rare, one of a kind, and valuable. He created you to be precious. There is no one on this earth who can do a better job at being you than you. So just be you. Self-love commandment number 2. I shall look for love in the right places, starting with me. So often in life, we look for love from our romantic partner, from our spouses, from our friends, our family members, right? That's what most of us do. We look for love in all these wrong places. And then what happens is we complain that we still don't feel love. We rarely feel fulfilled when we look for love outside of ourselves. So please understand this. Being loved begins and ends with you. I'm going to repeat that. Being loved begins and it ends with you. It's hard to receive love if you don't love yourself. People can tell you all day long, over and over again, I love you, I love you, I love you. They can do nice things for you all the time. But if you don't truly love yourself, it still won't make a difference in how you feel on the inside. It's not going to make a difference on a long-term basis. So if you really want love in your life, here's what I want you to do. I want you to look in the mirror right now. Look yourself in the eyes and repeat after me. I will make a conscious effort every day to be more loving to you, starting now. Self-love commandment number 3. I shall regularly give thanks for my blessings. So if you want to love yourself more, you have to begin to focus on your blessings and the things that you're grateful for. One of the things that we do in my household as an exercise is we make sure that we at least discuss 3 things that we feel blessed to have, or 3 things that we are grateful for. And so each night before you go to bed, I want you to write in your journal, write down a list of things that you are grateful for or that you feel blessed to have. This is a great exercise. The more you appreciate your blessings, the more gratitude you have, the better you're going to begin to feel. And so the better you begin to feel, the more you'll fall in love with you. Self-love commandment number 4. I shall speak life over myself daily. Let me ask you a question and let me give you something to think about. What's really running through your mind? What are you thinking to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? Are you speaking words of love? Are you speaking words of power, possibility? Are you speaking words of success over yourself? Or are you thinking about fear? Are you speaking words of doubt, scarcity? You see, when you become aware of the quality of your thoughts and you consciously make a decision to speak positively, you find out that you become more gentler with yourself. You become kinder to yourself. And so here's what I want you to remember. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. And so from this day forward, I want you to begin to speak life over yourself in every single situation, every day. Self-love commandment number 5. I shall set healthy boundaries. So this is one that I have struggled with for a long time in the past. But over the course of the past few years, I've been able to learn how to implement healthy boundaries. And so healthy boundaries create healthy relationships. Unhealthy boundaries create dysfunctional relationships. And who has time for dysfunctional relationships when you're trying to live the empowered life, right? So by establishing clear, healthy boundaries, we define ourselves concerning other people. And so to do this, we have to be able to identify and respect our own needs. We have to be able to respect our opinions, our feelings. We have to be willing to respect our rights. And so what happens is when we don't establish clear boundaries, it's like putting a fence around a yard without knowing the property lines or without knowing the boundaries. So we have to make sure that we're setting healthy, crystal clear boundaries. Self-love commandment number 6. I shall value myself. How much are you worth? And I don't mean monetary worth, but what is your self-worth? You see, if you don't value yourself, it's going to be hard to attract self-love. It's going to be difficult to attract confidence or success. One of the best ways that you can value yourself is to just be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. You see, every time you treat yourself with love, you reinforce being worthy. Self-love translates into having more significant value. The more love you have, the more love you believe you deserve. Begin to value yourself. Self-love commandment number 7. I shall forgive myself when I make a mistake. Now, making peace and moving forward is often easier said than done. It can be very, very difficult to forgive yourself for a mistake that you made or the wrong decision or whatever the case may be. It can be very difficult to forgive yourself. And what happens is we begin to beat ourselves up. We don't want to do that. Being able to forgive yourself is going to require empathy. It requires compassion, kindness, and understanding. It also requires you to accept that forgiveness is a choice. I'm asking you right now, choose to forgive yourself. Why? Because your future depends on it. Self-love commandment number 8. I shall be kind to others without sacrificing my own needs. I want you to begin to pay attention to how you treat yourself compared to how you treat other people, how you treat your friends and your family members. Are you treating other people better than you treat yourself? A lot of times we do that because we're people pleasers. We don't want to upset anybody. That actually goes back to being able to set healthy boundaries. And so make sure that when you're being kind to other people, when you're doing stuff for other people, make sure that you're not sacrificing your own needs. Most self-love blocks are habits that you can break once you become aware of them. And so habits are just those automatic responses you use to respond to certain situations. Here's what I want you to know. You have the power to either hurt yourself or love yourself. Choose love. Self-love commandment number 9. I shall accept compliments graciously. So what we have to learn how to do is begin to accept compliments. I know a lot of us, what happens is someone will give you a compliment and you'll deflect it. Oh, your shoes are cute. And what do we say? Oh, these old things. Or, hey, girl, you look great today. Oh, but I feel terrible. So we want to begin to graciously accept compliments. It's okay to do that. Most of us were taught that being modest will make people like us more, right? But when you don't love yourself, it can be difficult to receive a compliment and actually believe it. So being too modest can make you deflect kind words or compliments or even deny being the great person that you really are. When you get compliments, here's what I want you to do. Say thank you. When someone gives you a compliment, all you have to do is say thank you, be quiet, and allow yourself to feel special. Why? Because you deserve it. And last but not least, self-love commandment number 10. I shall love myself to the best of my ability. Unfortunately, many of us are not brought up to practice self-love. We're told to be modest, and sometimes we're made to feel as if loving ourselves is selfish. I'm here to tell you that self-love is not selfish, but it's a necessity. Practicing self-love can feel strange and weird in the beginning, but that's okay. The more you practice, the easier it's going to get. It's going to begin to sink in, and then you'll naturally begin to fall in love with yourself. And that's what we want. We want you to fall in love with yourself. One of the things that I like to do, I call it mirror work. And that's when you look in the mirror, you look yourself in the eyes, and you repeat specific positive affirmations to yourself. And so we did that in one of the earlier commandments of self-love. And I want you to come up with your own affirmations, positive self-talk, where you can look at yourself in the mirror every day, do your mirror work, and practice self-love and affirming self-love over your life every single day. Here's one of my favorite affirmations by Louise Hay. I like to do this every day when I'm doing my mirror work. And it goes like this. I am my real best friend, and I treat myself with love. I love myself. Therefore, I live totally in the now, experiencing each moment as good and knowing that my future is bright, joyous, and secure. For I am a beloved child of God, and He lovingly takes care of me now and forevermore. And so there you have it, the 10 Commandments of Self-Love. Let's go ahead and do a quick recap. Number 1, I shall lovingly accept myself as I am right now. Number 2, I shall look for love in the right places, starting with me. Number 3, I shall regularly give thanks for my blessings. Number 4, I shall speak life over myself daily. Number 5, I shall set healthy boundaries. Number 6, I shall value myself. Number 7, I shall forgive myself when I make a mistake. Number 8, I shall be kind to others without sacrificing my own needs. Number 9, I shall accept compliments graciously. And number 10, I shall love myself to the best of my ability. Ladies, those are my 10 commandments of self-love. If you need additional assistance, additional coaching in the area of self-love, consider purchasing my book, 21 Days of Self-Love, a guide to loving yourself unapologetically. It's available in the Empowerment Store on my website at tamikolaurie.com. It is my heart's desire that these 10 commandments of self-love will empower you to love yourself from the inside out unapologetically. Take some time to do something loving for you. You deserve it. Love yourself enough to believe in the limitless opportunities available to you. Take action and create a beautiful life for yourself. It's time to discover and live your life purpose. It's time to value yourself. It's time to set goals that are going to move you forward in life. It's time to rebuild your confidence. It's time to fearlessly walk in your authentic power. And ladies, it's time to live the empowered life.